Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Big Trio's inaugural podcast. Um, just to give you guys a little bit of background, the Big Trio is made of three people. There are three of us. We're friends for a while, and we're here to pretty much talk about everything and anything. There's this first part of the first few podcasts actually will be more theme specific, but we'll be going into all types of subjects. Just give you a little bit of background. We're three friends. We've known each other for a while, and the people and situations that we're going to be talking about, um, there are going to be people that we know or situations that involve ourselves. So the way we're going to refer to people, like there's three of us here in the podcast. We're not going to use our real names, and we're not going to use the real names of the subjects we're talking about because we're not douchebags like that. We don't want to ruin reputations, but these stories need to be told because they're just so stupid. So let me start introductions. Myself, I am the Big Trio, and I'll be calling myself the color yellow. And then we got the Big Trio White. Say hi.
How's it going, guys?
And the Big Trio Brown.
What's going on?
You gotta say that again. I think you cut out just a little bit there.
What's going on?
Okay, that's better. So there's the three of us, and then the subjects that we're gonna be talking about, we're probably gonna name them something like animals. It's like, for example, today, the guy that we're speaking of, one of our friends or former friends, we're gonna call him Hamster, just because, yeah, I know, I think he's a hamster. So we're just gonna go from there. So let's talk about now just a little bit of a background story. So, sorry, before I begin, the first set of podcasts will be entitled Unsolved Behaviors. So, what those are behaviors of our friends that we've known for a while and we've known well, and they're just stupid, ridiculous fucking behaviors that we can't understand. I think we all are very open-minded people and can see other people's perspectives, but the things that these people do, they're so stupid that I would have to say at least 99% of the population would think that it's absolutely fucking dumb. So we're gonna start off with this one guy. We're gonna call him Hamster. So just give you a little bit of background of Hamster. He's been our friends for years, now former friend. He basically his behavior, he's pretty much, I wouldn't call him pussy whipped completely in terms of like he doesn't stick up for himself. However, all his actions are how can you say, driven by what he thinks or what the women around him tell him to do. And of course, we understand that uh, women and in your relationships do have a say and are your equal partners, but these behaviors are like absolutely out of this world, ridiculous in my mind and in our minds. So I think before we go on a little bit further, I think Brown, you know Hamster for a little bit more longer than we'd have. Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so why don't you give a little bit more of a background of like the behaviors of Hamster with like the women he interacts with.
Well, like I've known him again, like you said, a little bit longer than you guys have known. I actually introduced him around the crowd that he seemed to have formerly known or knew. Um, I mean, he started out as like a normal guy, but the flags he started to get. I'll give you a certain some certain situations here. We went to a club once, and we were just partying, and there's obviously the good-looking girls, and then there's the ones that are around them that kind of just cock blocks the good-looking ones. So I asked him, I'm like, hey man, like get on that for me, and let me get this other girl, just help me out. And this guy was like, nah, man, nah, I can't do this. I can't do that. Nah, man. I'm like, all right, whatever. That's cool. That's fine. And the reason I'm telling this story is because it relates to the next story, just another situation of how fucking retarded he was. But so, anyways, the night went up, and I had another friend with me the same night, and I was with the one girl, whatever. And we were like, "Where's this hamster? Where's this guy?" and everybody started looking because the night's coming to an end. And one of the guys that was with us went upstairs and was like, "Yo, he's with that same girl that he didn't want to like get on with you, like making out with her." And, like, so that was it. Anyways, that one girl that I was with, we pursued something, so we were hanging around and stuff like that. And the same girl that he didn't want because apparently she was too fat or whatever it was that he was complaining about. He still started talking about. He still started talking to her, trying to get in her pants. That's how desperate he wanted to like pussy. That's how fucking that guy was. So he was still talking to that girl on the side. And then the first flag I got with this guy was when he threw me under the bus. So basically, he started telling that girl. So that girl was basically an informant. She was trying to find out information from him about me so she can tell her friend, obviously. So shit didn't work out. And he was feeding it to her. He was basically telling her of past situations, relationships, just how I am, like what I'm going to do, and threw me under the bus. And the girl came back to me and said, "You have to be careful with the type of people that's surrounding you." Anyways, that was the first flag. We went on vacation, and you guys know this well. We went on vacation, and this is the first time I think Yellow and White was meeting him. And I introduced this guy to them. And this was our annual trip. And then I'll let you guys chime in on that one there. What happened?
All right. Well, before you continue, I just want to add one thing that I think the listeners want to hear. I think it's funny anyways, but when he dances with girls, he legitimately body checks them like a hockey player across the dance floor. That's his main move.
He parties with shoulder pads and a Michael Jordan Nike belt buckle.
Oh, that belt buckle's aggressive.
It was huge. It was huge.
Whether he's rocking jeans, dress pants, joggers, capris, or shorts, or even swimming trunks, look out for that
joke, man.
Shiny, blinging Jordan belt buckle.
and then came the body check out of nowhere. A girl lands against the speaker.
It's crazy. I was in a club once and we were just partying and whatever. We tried to hook him up with this one girl, and we were just whatever. We were on the dance floor doing our thing, and before you know it, we looked over and this girl fucking flew from to the other side of like a door, and we're like, "Yo, what happened?" And this guy's shining teeth was from a distance. We're like, "Yo, what are you doing, man?" And then we saw the fucking hip throw, and then the shoulder pads. We're like, "Oh boy, here it goes. Here we go." Woman.
Yeah. So if you ever, if the listeners ever come across him in a bar or something, and you see that like there's a one dude that's just doing a body checking movement as a dance move, that'd be Hamster. So just keep an eye out. So Brown, why don't you talk about the time that we went on vacation with Hamster? You were just getting into that.
Yeah. So, well, I wanted you guys to share with the listeners your experience of meeting this guy for the first time, because I knew him up to that point, right? So.
Oh, true. Okay, so I remember this clearly. White, were you were there at this trip too?
Yeah, I was on this one. Yeah.
Okay, so basically what happened was this Hamster came with us for our annual trip. So we're still in the background story here. This is not what we're getting into, but we just want you to get a good idea of what Hamster is like around women. It's as if he's never seen like a punani before in his life. So we went on this vacation. We were partying. We met some girls, and then so first it was I believe I was talking to her first at the club, and she gave me her earrings for some reason. I don't know why, to hold. So I got them, and then I saw her later in the hotel. I'm like, "Hey, here are your earrings." And so I started talking to her, and all I saw was this shiny belt buckle that we were talking about earlier come across the bar, stood right in front of me and cut me off. I started talking to her, which is whatever. I don't care. You know, we're friends. We're not there to like help each other out. That's fine. He wants to talk to this girl. So he talks to her, and from that point on, we did not see him throughout the vacation. He legitimately ignored us. What he did was, even if we were walking across each other at the bar, he would not look at us. The actual girl where he was trying to wife, which I don't know why you try to wife up a girl on vacation like 3 days in, she would say hi and be like, "Aren't those your friends?" And so this guy would just ignore and just like was trying to wife this girl up the whole time. I think she even started feeling uncomfortable because she's like, this is weird. Like, why is this guy hanging around me and not his friends? So anyway, just a little background of how he is. You got anything to say there, White, about that situation?
No, I mean, there's so many situations on vacation that this guy does Valentine's dinners. He goes 2 feet up, 2 feet down.
Oh, we'll have to explain that later.
So,
Yeah, we'll get into all the details on this.
but White, let me remind you about the sensitivity of the last night behavior of when he was like, I don't appreciate what you guys were doing. I'll let you tell that one.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, but I think this is a little bit of a background, like a good enough background story where we can get into him now. Like the other stuff, yeah, they're absolutely stupid. But I think that we're getting a little bit off topic, so and getting a little carried away on all the.
What you want to know? You don't want to know what's stupid is this is a guy that made his family basically moved because his bed or his room was facing the opposite direction. Now, this is a true story. It's actually a true story. I'm not elaborating on bullshit here, but he literally made them move from one part of like the city to another side of the city because he said he can't focus and it's just negative energy. So they had to move houses. Like, why didn't you move the fucking room? Like, I don't understand. What happened? Like, he moved houses because he couldn't focus and couldn't focus in school and shit. That's like right away. You don't even know what to say. Like, you actually think that they're bullshitting, but then 2 weeks later they moved.
Yeah. So there you go. that in a nutshell is a hamster background. He's like neurotic, pussy whipped, and also scared and like dumb at the same. I don't even know how to explain it. You've never met a person of this caliber of fucked up, in my mind anyway, ever. But I don't know. Maybe you do know somebody. And this is the whole point of the podcast, is to find out if we're the only ones that deal with this type of stupid shit, or does everybody else have a type of hamster friend as well and have dealt with this type of situations? Because the situations we've been in with this guy, we're like, oh my god, like, is this real? Can this be like real? The thing is, he doesn't think he's wrong in any of these situations. He thinks he's absolutely correct in what he's doing. And I'm like, he's so confident in that I question myself if I'm wrong. But then I talk to these guys and they're like, no, that's fucked up. So this is where we're going to get into some things now. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So we're going to get into like his wedding day stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. So I'm going to give a little bit of a background. So basically, we have another friend who had a wedding planned probably 1 year in advance. And he had the date set. This was his wedding day. Everything was happening on this day. And so what happened is, I'm talking about maybe 6 months before that wedding date, right? Around that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
see.
yeah.
Yeah. 6 months, maybe even less, before that other guy's wedding, our other good friend's wedding date, where he knows we were part of that wedding party. He puts his wedding on the exact same fucking day as that other guy's wedding. The same fucking day. You know we're busy. We're his good friends. We're your good friends at that time. Do you want us there?
He even had an invite to that wedding, so it's not like he didn't know.
Oh
He had
yeah.
an invite to the same wedding.
They even went on the same batch. Like, for
Yeah,
real.
that's a different story. We'll have to get into the bachelor party in a little bit. But he made his wedding on the same fucking day. And we asked him why. We're like, yo, man, like, why'd you do that? Like, this other guy's wedding is the same day. So, like, why did you do that? He's like, oh, yeah, like, it's because, like, my wife and I, or my fiance and I thought about it. And we thought that was the best date for us. And we're like, oh, okay, like, what about for you? Like, that we can't go to that for the most part if you're putting it on that day. He's like, yeah, I realize that, but there's nothing I could do about it. I'm like, yeah, there is. Why don't you like pick the next weekend? It's like, yeah, but she doesn't like that weekend. But I'm like, why not? Like, oh, because her friends can't make that weekend. I'm like, okay, idiot. We are your friends. We can't make that weekend. You know it for a year. I'm sure if you ask her, she'll be like, okay, we want your friends there too. So we'll pick another day. Why did you not do that? And all he did was just like, I'm like, oh, you guys have anything to add to that part of the story?
Well, well, I don't. There's so much stupidity. I don't even know where to start right now. Let me gather my thoughts. You got anything to add in the meantime, White?
Yeah, what you got something to add? That's really fun.
Because I'll start throwing shit I can in there.
It is really dumb because, in my opinion, when you do something like that, you do not give a fuck about your own friends, and we call them out on that. This is what we call them out multiple times about. Like, you don't give a shit about your friends because this is a prime example. Your friends are at another wedding of one of your other good friends that you know about, and yet you still put the wedding day on that same day. So it's either you don't care that your friends are there, which means you don't care about your friends, or you're so like fucking pussy whipped you can't even stand up to your fiance and be like, can we pick another day because all my friends can't come to this, or at least won't be able to come to most of it because they've already committed to another wedding. This is my opinion on it.
Well, that's my opinion too. But he's also never changed.
I agree.
He's always been that guy who doesn't care about any of his friends' opinions and does whatever the woman of his time tells him to do.
But it all makes sense afterwards, I guess, to us why he chose that day and how relevant we were to that wedding. But anyways, so 2 days before his actual wedding, so this other wedding that we got invited to that Yellow was talking about, it was like a 3-day session basically. So we were booked pretty much every single day right up to like the reception and Hamster's reception we were going to make it to. So 2 days before his actual wedding and reception, Hamster messages me and he was like, hey man, I really would like for you to make it to my little ceremony prior to the reception. And I was like, okay.
Just gonna interrupt you. A little prelude to this is that we already told him, we're like, we will be able to make your reception because during the day we can't make your ceremony because we'll be doing the ceremony for the other guy.
Right.
And which is only fair because we committed to him first. So we're going to do all his stuff. And then in the evening, he won't have anything. So we're going to come to your reception. So he's like, yeah, okay, I understand. I'm like, you do understand this, right? Because you put your wedding on his wedding day, like 6 months before his wedding. Like, we can't we're not that type of people. We committed to something, we just can't leave. So just so he fully understands why we can't go to his wedding ceremony during the day. Sorry, Brown, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he's never talked about this shit, like even before. So 2 days before your ceremony, your wedding, and your reception, I guess that's when he's realizing that he's got no fucking friends showing up on his end.
Yeah,
so he's probably
right.
like his brother and his cousin, and that's it. He literally has and like one man that fucking takes him to go get jacked off. But rum and tug, man. So, but he's basically got no friends. So I think that's what happened is his mom or even his fiance or whatever at the time was like, so who's showing up on your end for your ceremony? Like, somebody's got to show up to like at least see you, like, or at least cheer for you and shit when you're coming in, even for your ceremony, because it's all part of their ceremony. And he's probably like, oh fuck, I didn't think of this. Like, I thought that they were just gonna come to my reception and that's it. So he messages me 2 days before, and he's like, hey man, like, I really would appreciate if you can come to my ceremony. So I gave him the same spiel that Yellow was just talking about. Like, we're gonna be caught up. We're committed to this. Like, this is somebody that actually brought us on board as part of the party. And so I'm like, let me try. I'm gonna try. I'm like, I can't promise you anything. I'll try to see what I can do. He's like, yeah, man. Like, anything, like just come. I really would like you to be there. Really would like love for you to be there. I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do. So I I think I messaged you too that night. I was like, yo, I don't want to go alone. I'm like, would you want to come with me to this guy's like fucking like ceremony thing? If we ditched the other guys, like part way, not fully, but like part way, if we had no other responsibility. I think you were like, yeah, like I'll think about it. You weren't even like fully sure yet because you're still pissed off.
Yeah.
But like you were like, yeah, I'll think about it or whatever. And finally you were like, yo, just ask him if we can like change and stuff, and like if we can like whatever, if we have a spot to change him. So I texted this guy. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, maybe we'll be able to actually do it. We might be able to leave a little early and catch it. So I'm like, yo, do you think? He's like, I'd be happy if you can wear like ceremonial outfit. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll try to see what I can do. But I'm like, yo, wherever we're coming from, because we're coming from like a photo shoot and all that shit. I'm like, we're gonna need to change. I'm like,
we're gonna be sweaty. Like this was a hot like summer day, man. Like we were gonna be at a place like outside where we were gonna be sweating like crazy, and White was gonna. You actually convinced me to come, Brown, and then I also got White into it, and then also another one of our friends. All four of us were gonna come actually. So sorry, go ahead. Just to give them a little bit more of a background.
So I messaged this guy and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, we're gonna just need a place to change. You got a room or something that we can do. He's like, yeah. He's like, but yo, man, he's like, yo, that bathroom is pretty big. And I was like, what bathroom? I'm like, you're like your room bathroom? Like what fucking bathroom? And he's like, no, like the hall has a really nice bathroom, man. It's clean and shit. You guys can change. So I'm like, before I even messaged back, because I thought he was like fucking around or something. I think I messaged Yellow and I was like, yo, this is what he said to me. And your reaction, I still remember your reaction. It's fucking hilarious. He's like, yo, because we were just texting, and you're like, I could picture you saying it too out loud, and your fucking like face going red and shit. But you're like, yo, are you fucking serious? Fucking serious? Yo, man. And you went off about the whole shit about he wanting us to come, and no, fuck that, I'm not going anymore, blah blah. And then I think you were like, yo, I'll give it one more chance. Just ask him if he has like, if we could change like his brother's room or something like that. So I went, I'm like, okay, I'm like, whatever, maybe your room's occupied. So I'm like, yo, do you think we can change in like your brother's room or like your parents' room? And he's like, and he messaged, he's like, nah, man, I think they're gonna be like using it at the time or something. He'd be like, yo, trust me, bro, that bathroom is pretty clean. You guys can clean in there. And then I remember going back to you, I'm like, yo, he's fucking adamant about us going to that bathroom and changing. Like he's dead serious. He's not giving us no room, so he's not even using his room. That was the whole argument. Like,
exactly, he was not using his room. He said that it was going to be occupied, and then what we did was we found out like it wasn't occupied. Like, how can it be occupied? Because they're going to be at the ceremony getting ready while because the hotel room, just to give perspective, the hotel rooms that they had were a little bit away, like maybe a 5-minute drive away from where their ceremony was taking place. So we were going to be coming a little bit later, just at the beginning of their ceremony, but they would have had to be in the hall by then. So they were long gone from the rooms. All they needed to do was leave the concierge key for us to come change their hotel room and go to the ceremony. And so we found out later that the rooms weren't not occupied. He just didn't want us in a room, like we were gonna sniff his underwear or some shit. Like
the thing was, he had nothing. He probably didn't have anything left in the room. Like everything was probably just packed and ready to go because they weren't staying there the night. As a matter of fact, he even tried to pawn the fucking room off 50-50 on another friend of ours. And he messaged the other friend and asked him if he wanted to pay 50% of the room and take it for the rest of the night. So he's gonna so that other friend is gonna slam on his fucking slam. Like that's
yo, that guy would not lend us his room to change, but then tried to. So you're saying he took the first part of the day, so call it 9 a.m. to, I don't know, 4 p.m. he was going to use the room to change or do whatever, and then he tried to sell the second half of the room the night for the remainder of the night to that guy, the other one that was coming to us, which we're not going to name it right now. He'll be in the stories later on. But so he wanted to sell the second half of the night to that guy.
Like sold it. He's like, you want to go halves on it.
Oh my God!
Take the,
Whoa, this
take
is
the
your wedding night. How cheap are you?
Not only that, he sold it to that man. He's be like, yo, you're gonna get drunk at my place and you're gonna want to have sex, so you're gonna need that room. But we couldn't get the room to even change for 5 minutes to come to a ceremony that he wanted us to be at.
Yeah. So just to follow up on that point, that guy never took the room because he thought it was ridiculous what he was asking. So I'm glad our other more sound-minded friends said no to his stupid proposal. But yeah, to that point, he's basically he fucking put his wedding date on another dude's wedding day, fully knowing that we couldn't make it. And then when he started getting desperate and his family figured out like why are none of his friends coming? And let me just do a little background on that too. His fiance is fine. She's like a nice person. I know she would have been reasonable with any of this stuff. But this is his own fucking, like, his own mind frame that thinks like this. So basically, he puts the wedding on another dude's wedding day where we have to be involved in that other wedding. Then we, fully well knowing we can't go to most of his stuff, then begs us to go to his stuff. We can't go, but then we make it so that we can go somehow. We were going to have to ditch the other guy a little bit to go to his. We make that effort. And then all we're asking is that we want to just go freshen up and change our shirt in his hotel room before coming to his event. And he told us we should go change in the public bathroom of the place. It was mad clean, in his own words. I fucking went to that washroom and there was piss everywhere. It was not mad clean. It was not mad clean for nobody.
No, man, there was toilet paper and shit all over the floors, and
it's fucking disgusting. Little kids were pissing around the fucking like stalls and shit. Like, how is that? Sorry,
it was 50%. It was 50% clean.
It was 50% clean. What kind of nonsense is that? I can't believe it. Wait, do you have anything to say?
yeah. So here's some more nonsense on this. All right. So because of this day, I got married at say what's that?
Wait, before you continue.
Yeah.
The end story to that is we couldn't make a ceremony because we were not going to change in the fucking public bathroom.
We also got replaced because we were getting ready to stand up for our ovation and our award of being a good friend for the many, many years and showing him life and potentially even introducing him to his woman. And then what happened? Right before we got up, we were all replaced, each one of us, with an unknown figures.
With unknown figures.
I forgot about this part.
Yeah.
We apparently he had a whole other wedding party that we've never seen or met before, and I know that we would know everybody that he knows. The rub and tug man, his brother. I get it. And then the other 5 people were like, who the fuck are these people? We've never seen them before. Which is fine. Maybe you have to replace them because he knew we were like at another thing. But the thing that cheesed us off the most was the shoutouts. You remember the shoutouts?
Yep.
Brown and white?
Yeah.
To my camouflage army. Yeah.
I know that. I know Yellow got very upset at the table about the shoutouts. He almost didn't want to. He didn't want to eat his dinner anymore.
I did not. Well, I interrupted White, but I think people should hear this part first before.
Yeah, go for it.
But so basically, at the wedding table, they were doing their speeches, and the wife comes up. Does her speech, very nice, thanking her family, her best girls, her best friend. They've always been there for her. Normal wedding speech stuff from the bride. So now he comes up, Hamster. he comes up and thanks his family. Great. Thanks his brother, the rub and tuck man, all that stuff, and which is all normal and fine. And then we're like, okay, he's gonna, give us a shout out. Whereas, like, legitimately, I know this for a fact because he has no other friends other than us at that time. He was gonna be like, yo, shout out to my boys for like, can you buy? I knew they had a tough day or whatever. I had to go to 2 weddings. It was my fault. But, like, they came through. Not one mention of us. He actually shouted out her friends. How, like, what is it? Let's call him, what kind of army should we call him? Let's call him the rodent army. I don't know. He's a hamster, so I don't know. Are they rodents?
The hamster army.
What was that?
Hamster army.
Yeah, hamster army. They're nice people. Don't get me wrong. I met them all. Her side of the family, her friends are very nice people. So the rodent part has nothing to do with them. It's more a reflection of him. So he shouts it out. He's like, they're my, like, my army. Like, I don't know what I would do without them. And we're like, what the fuck just happened? He shouted out her friends and not his own friends. This makes absolutely no sense. Are you, like, what the fuck? I've never seen this type of nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't care if I get shouted out or not at a party, but if you're gonna shout out your friends or anybody else, if he shouted out nobody other than his family and that one the rum and tug man, I would have been like, whatever. But what's worse is he didn't shout us out, but he shouted out her friends. Like, who's been there for you the last, like, 5 to 10 years? You met these other people for, like, what, a year or 2?
Maybe 2.
Fucking weird.
If that.
Yo, who's put up with all his bullshit for fucking, like, 10 years?
Exactly. It's really dumb. So, White, sorry, go ahead with your story. You're going on about something about another wedding?
Oh, yeah. So, all of this compiles into me getting married, 3 months after these guys?
Yeah.
I think somewhere like that.
Maybe something like that, I think, yeah.
So this man literally decides that because I didn't come to his ceremony, he was not going to come to mine and make it a point and basically go around and tell everybody that he didn't show up. Did you see that I didn't show up because he didn't show up to mine?
Yes.
That is the type of man he is.
I remember this clearly because myself and Brown, Yellow and Brown, we were both in White's wedding party, and so we were busy the whole day. And I did notice that he wasn't there because when they came through and shook everybody's hand, I'm like, where is this guy? So we didn't see him until the I guess the actual reception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the reception, he came up to me. He's like, yo, how was the ceremony? I'm like, I don't know. Were you not there? And I fully knew he was there. I just wanted to see what he said. He's like, yeah, man. Like, did you? I didn't even mention that part, actually. I just wanted to see what he said. He's like, yeah, man. Did you notice I wasn't there? I'm like, oh, I didn't want to give the side. I'm like, oh, no, man. I was busy. He's like, yeah, man. I wasn't there. I was mad busy, so I couldn't make it. I'm like, you fucking asshole. You, as if it was our fault we couldn't go to your ceremony. You fucking point.
Hey, this is an ongoing fucking trend with him, though, with weddings. Just don't forget the other friend of ours' wedding where he couldn't even show up. He was invited and everything. He couldn't even show up for one of the, even the first day, he couldn't even show up when he lives right. The wedding was right in his fucking city.
Oh,
right in his
you're talking about, yes.
And his excuse was he was stuck on the 401, and then he had a client or something like that, but then he was stuck on the 401 for hours and couldn't make it, and then went home and said, yo, man, it got too late. But it was only like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I remember this clearly. The full story to that is actually he said what you just said. And then afterwards, we were done the ceremony. We're like, yo, we're pretty much in your backyard, man. Like, come out and let's have a few drinks then. You missed this guy's full ceremony. And keep in mind, he's known this guy as long as he's known you, right, bro?
Yeah, yep. Around the
Yeah,
same
so
time.
around the same time. Maybe not one of his best friends, but like a good friend of his. And he basically said, "Nah, man, I can't. I'm not gonna go come meet you guys for drinks. Like you're 10 minutes away. Why not? It's like early." He's like, "Gotta get up mad early in the morning for a client." And we're like, "Whatever, fuck you." Well, the next day at the reception, him and his now wife were the thing, and we found out the real reason why he didn't show up was that she was they just bought a condo or something like that, and she wanted to go to look furniture shopping, and instead of leaving on time, they ran late, and then they just never showed up. So basically, this guy didn't show up to another guy's ceremony, was trying to furniture shop, and he just continued furniture shopping instead of going to the wedding ceremony. And it's not to say that it's the wife's fault, because sure, if the wife wants to continue furniture shopping, let her continue furniture shopping. You can leave her there and go to the ceremony and then come get her again afterwards. It's not her friend. She doesn't care. But you should care that you're missing this guy's ceremony. And this is the same guy who's pissed off that we can go to his ceremony because it's his own fucking fault for that. It's ridiculous.
That's just how it is. Unorthodox fucking behaviors and just weird, messed
Hence
up
the
shit.
title of these episodes.
It's really fucked up. It doesn't surprise me. Like, one of his exes said it well, and she's like, he thinks friends are replaceable, and it doesn't matter. Like, with friends, they come and go, and that's just how it is. So in your face, he'll call you his brother, but behind his back, he's talking pure shit, and he has his own motives because he thinks you have to do everything for him, and you have to understand him, and you should be able to change your plans, change your life, and make things work for him. But when it comes to the opposite way around, you have to understand that his life doesn't surround you, and it is what it is, and you need to have him more. He's literally a bitch, so you have to. He wants people to beg him like a bitch, like literally. You have to beg him. For his own even bachelor party, you had to beg him, even though we were taking care of him. But that's whatever. But yeah, you have to beg him. If to go out anywhere, you got to beg him. When he comes, he's like, best time of my life. Okay, fucker, but you didn't want to come to begin with, right? And
100%.
but yeah, he does pure like shit, and we've seen it time and time to lead up to all this crap. That you think that he would change to realize that he actually has good friends around him, people that actually like care and look out for his well-being. But obviously, we don't matter. But like shit he's done even before, like things that he says that he'll never do, but then he goes and reverses and does it when a woman comes into the picture, and that's fine. Like you said, white and yellow. When you get your wife and you get your significant other, it's a different story when you start family. But at the beginning, when you're meeting somebody, you don't throw your friends away, and you don't completely go against everything that you've been saying and all the shit you've been talking just because somebody else came in the picture and they're okay with it. But
I agree. I agree 100. I agree 100%.
I want to ask these listeners a question. Would you ever use your wedding as a business expense? That is really what I
forgot about this, but yeah, the preface to that is actually at his wedding, she had her family side or whatever, and then on his side, there wasn't very many people. Surprise, surprise, being the fucker he is. The majority of his they had equal numbers side to side, but the majority of his guests were his clients. So he basically invited majority of his clients as wedding guests. And I remember him telling me this before. He's like, I'm like, why are you inviting like all these clients? Like maybe you want to invite like your top clients, like the ones that do whatever the most for you. But you're gonna invite like 200 clients? Like, why? Are they their close friends? Like, no, man, but I want to show them my appreciation. I'm like, this is your wedding, dude. It's not a fucking like Christmas party that you're throwing for your clients. It's your wedding.
This
It's
man
not
wants money from his clients.
He
Write
wants
shit off.
he's trying to write shit off for one, and two, I'm like, yo, man, it's not really an appreciation when they come to your wedding. They're gonna give you a wedding gift, man. Like, people aren't just gonna come and do nothing. He's like, yeah, but I don't expect them to give me a wedding gift. I'm like, okay, any respectable person, doesn't matter if you expect them or not, they're gonna do it. So you're basically, what you're trying to say is you have no friends. You're trying to write this off as half business. Instead of having real people that care around you for your wedding, you're having fake clients that are just, there for finances come, and then you're saying you're doing this as a favor to them, but they're also still going to give you a wedding gift. So in the end, you did nothing for them. What kind of business? What kind of stupidity is this? I can't believe I'm even talking about this right now. It's fucked up.
He was just trying to.
I'm excited for this poll to come in and see what people have to say about this topic.
It's ridiculous. White, why don't you add in about the bachelor party where we went to the Caribbean? How we set the date long in advance, and he just, what was it? He was trying to get out of it somehow, right? It was a 3-man bachelor party, like a three people getting married bachelor party.
Might need you to give me some more details on that one. I don't fully remember that.
Oh, okay. It's your batch with 2 of our other friends. Was it 2 of our other ones? Well, yeah, your batch, his batch, Hamster's batch, and then another guy's batch where it was the same day. He put the wedding on the same day. Those 3, when we went to the Caribbean, and we had set the date for this batch long in advance. I say a year after you proposed. I right away set the date of the batch because I knew when it was going to happen, because we've been planning this for a while, right? And so basically what happened was we had told this guy 1 year in advance. We're like, it was spring, and we're like, this is happening next spring, 100%. There's 3 dudes getting married in the crew. It's gonna be a big bachelor party next spring, and I told them the exact date, and because I knew when it was gonna be good for everybody. That's just the person I am. And he's like, down, was his words. So then we went along. I think it was time to book. We were like maybe 6 weeks away from that date, and we're like, okay, it's time to book. And he's like, and it's not like he forgot about it, because we've been talking about this batch for the last year, the whole year leading up. So he knew when we were going to do this, and it was reminded constantly that this batch was going to be crazy because there was 3 mans getting married. And then 6 weeks, we were like, all right, man, we're ready to book. You ready? I need your name and your birthday and all that crap. And he's like, yo, can't reach, man, because I booked the course for that weekend. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. You remember that shit? Okay, you take over from here. You want me to continue?
No, go ahead. You can keep going with it, but now I remember.
Yeah. So this guy, he's like, no, man, like, like I gotta do this course. I'm like, you fucker. We've told you for a year that keep this day clean. Like, why did you put a fucking day, like this course on this day? Like, why didn't you do it before, or why don't you do it after? He's like, yeah, man, like, it's just because it works best for me to do it this day. I'm like, yo, just do it like 3 months from now. And it's one of these courses. It's not one of these courses where it's like a crazy legit school. It's like some like fucked up like course that he has to do to get a certificate or some shit like that.
Yeah, so like a working like for a work course.
Yeah, some shit like that. So it was like the course occurs like every like few months or something. So it's not like he would have had to wait long afterwards to do it, or he could have done it well before. And he even said himself, I was trying to do this course for 2 years. I'm like, for 2 years, you picked the one fucking day where we were trying to like go to this batch for like 3 dudes. He's like, yo, man, like, so let me see what I can do. I'm like, no, don't see what you can do. Just don't fucking book the course. Let's go. This is your bachelor party, man. And like 2 other of your good friends. And he's like, no. And so he's like, I'm not going to cancel the course. I'm like, you're a fucking asshole. You don't care about your friends. You only care about yourself. And I called him out, and we have a group chat. So I called him out, and I'm like, you're such a dick, man. Like, why would you do something like that? Like, we've been planning this for a year. You know the exact date. And this is just so you guys just so you guys know, did he at that point did he already plan his wedding date on the other guy's wedding date? I don't remember.
You would have done it already.
He would have done it already. So
Yeah.
not only did he book a wedding date on the other guy's wedding date, he knows the day of when we were going to go on a batch for all of them, and then he booked something on top of that. So this, I guess this is not abnormal behavior for him. Now that you think of it, that's
No,
ridiculous.
it's
So
not.
so it's not. So basically, I called him out, and I'm like, yo, man, you don't care about your friends. That's fine. Just say then you don't give a shit about going on this batch because you don't give a shit about your friends, and that's fine. I don't care. I'm not gonna be mad. That's the truth. And what was funny was that he actually got angry at us, being like, how can you say I don't care about anybody, blah, blah, blah. He's like, like I'll be there for the most important things. I'm like, what's more important than 3 of your friends getting married or 2 of your friends getting married and yourself, the batch? And then now that you think back on it, what's more important than going to your friends' weddings, which you missed to go furniture shopping? So his words don't even match anybody else's words or any words that he says. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's it has to be a funeral. Then it's important.
Yeah, so once somebody dies, it doesn't know that he's there. That's when he'll be there.
Yeah.
Yo, if that man shows up at my funeral, I'll climb out of the grave and kill him.
Well, the bot's
It's gonna haunt him.
it doesn't matter. Like a
Yo,
piece of
wife's
paper.
coming out of the grave.
A piece of paper is more important than your wedding, than your friendship. A dog shit's more important than friendship. It doesn't matter. A barbecue stick was more important than you and him hanging out. Don't forget that. So
I
that's just
forgot about something. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm gonna just let you finish.
I'm done. Like I think
Oh,
the listeners at this point will get the point that his friends to him was pretty much like nothing. We weren't even oxygen. I don't even know what we were.
we were absolutely nothing. It was what was the other guy's engagement, right? And we went to the engagement, and once again, it's the same guy. He booked the wedding on top of. It was that guy's engagement party. So a year before all this happened. So we all went to go to this engagement party. He doesn't show up, right? And we're like, where is this guy? He's like, oh man, I'm at my girl's friend's barbecue. We're like, okay, are you like, what time are you coming? He's like, well, I'll get there like soon. So basically, what happened is he didn't show up till like the last half hour of the engagement party, and we're like, yo man, where the fuck were you, dude? And he's like, oh, like my girl wants to stay at the barbecue, so I just stayed with her. I'm like, are you fucked? This is your friend's. This is your friend's engagement party. You couldn't leave your girl if she didn't want to come. You couldn't leave your girl at that barbecue and come support your friend at his engagement party. You chose to stay at a fucked up barbecue with people you don't know at all instead of coming to this. And he's like, yo, man, like, like I just can't leave her there. I'm like, why can't you leave her there? Was she gonna get kidnapped by her own family and friends? Was she like some like rat gonna come out of the fucking hole of the tree and bite her in the ankle and you have to go save her? No, you fucking leave. I'm not saying that she had to come with you, but you would go to your friend's engagement party, no? And he's like, man, like I'll be there for the more important stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what else there is.
It's just how it is.
I think, you know what? I think we'll cut it off here for the first podcast. There's much more about Hamster that we're going to go through, including where he wanted his wife to live and whatnot. That'll probably come in the next podcast episode or so. But this one has dragged. This one's dragged on, and in terms of like talking about Hamster, and I think we should save some for the next episode. So, do you guys have anything else to add for now about this?
No, I'll reserve my comments for episodes to come.
To be continued.
Brown, you got anything?
Nope. To be continued.
All right. So, you guys, I hope you guys listened to the first podcast. We are available on Instagram at the Big Trio 3. That's number 3. So at the Big Trio number 3. We also have our own individual accounts in terms of white, yellow, and brown, which are at the big trio _yellow, _white, and _brown. You can follow and comment there. So the main thing that we want you to comment on is what you thought about the first podcast and if you enjoyed it. Of course, as well, do you have friends that have done this type of thing? And as well, if you do have friends that do these type of things, do you think they're right, or do you think like we're right? And if they're right, like has the world turned upside down where stupid people actually rule the world? Because I think these behaviors are fucked up. So until next time, I am the big trio yellow.
I'm the big trio white.
And I'm the big trio brown.
And I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you. We'll talk to you, I guess, next episode.